I didn't go 2 states east. I told myself I wouldn't. I turned the phone off again, smashed it this time. Hammer, concrete, battery split open like a crushed insect. The vibration didn't stop. It moved, not to another device, to the inside of my skull, a steady, rhythmic pulse behind my eyes. Not painful, instructional. The coordinates replayed in memory with impossible clarity. Highway exits, gas stations, a church with a red roof near the county line. I lasted 12 hours. Then I got in the car. The drive felt rehearsed, like I had done it before. Every mile marker matched what I remembered from something I hadn't experienced. When I crossed into the county listed in the coordinates, my ears popped. No altitude change, just pressure equalizing to something unseen. The town was smaller than mine. One main street, grain silos, a water tower with faded paint. People were out. Normal day, clear sky, no alerts yet. I parked near a diner and went inside. The waitress smiled. "Passing through?" I hesitated. That pulse in my head synchronized with the hum of the ceiling lights. "Yes," I said, "just visiting." The word tasted wrong. I walked the streets for hours, learning them, mapping them. The center point was obvious once I stopped resisting it. A small park with a gazebo. Open space, unobstructed view of the sky. Of course. The first siren sounded at 1:43 a.m. I was already awake. This time, the alert didn't feel foreign. It felt on schedule. Tornado warning remains in effect. The town reacted like mine had the first time. Confusion, porch lights, phones held up to the sky. No clouds, no wind. I stood in the park and waited. The circle formed almost instantly, faster than before, cleaner, precise. It wasn't learning in general, it was learning through me. On day 2, I started knocking on doors, not frantically, not desperately, calmly. I told them the cellar was safest, that the warning might last longer than expected, that staying indoors was important. I didn't tell them not to answer calls for help. I didn't need to. By day 2 evening, most of the town was underground. Basements, storm shelters, closets reinforced with sandbags. The park was empty, except for me. The pressure in the air felt approving. On day 3, I stood at the center, directly beneath the circle. The sky opened wider than I had ever seen. The depth was no longer subtle. It was layered, like looking into an ocean suspended above the atmosphere. The silhouettes shifted, closer now, defined edges, not humanoid, not animal, architectural, structured in angles that felt mathematically wrong. And I understood something else. It doesn't take randomly. It takes alignment. People who look up, people who stare too long, people who try to understand. The first town was confusion. The second was attendance. This was filtration. I looked up deliberately, held the gaze, invited it. The vibration in my skull peaked. Then, silence. Not absence, recognition. Something brushed against my mind, cold, vast, curious. A sensation like being cataloged, measured. The silhouettes withdrew slightly. The circle pulsed. And then, several basement doors in town creaked open. People stepped out. Not all of them, just a few. The ones who had come to their windows during day 1. The ones who had asked questions too loudly. They walked toward the park, calm, unresisting. I didn't move, didn't warn them, didn't try to stop it. Because I knew now, stopping it wasn't possible, only guiding it. They stood beside me, beneath the center. They looked up, and they were edited out. Clean, instant, as if reality corrected an excess variable. The sirens lowered in pitch, satisfied again. The circle contracted. Before it vanished completely, I saw something new. A shape within the depth, not observing, not selecting, descending, slowly. The sky sealed, blue returned. The town was missing 9 people, less than the 17 from before. Refinement. My skull throbbed once, then a message, not on a screen, not audible, but precise, formed in thought. Mobility phase approaching. It's adapting. The 3-day cycle was for stationary harvest. Now it's experimenting with movement. The circle won't stay over towns much longer. It will follow density, follow gatherings, highways, cities, and it needs anchors in each place, people who have seen it and survived, people who won't run, people who understand the pattern. I drove out before sunrise. No official reports mentioned missing persons, just weather irregularities. The next coordinates appeared without a device, projected against the inside of my vision when I closed my eyes. Larger population this time, a suburban cluster outside a metropolitan area. It's accelerating. I used to think the tornado warning was camouflage. Now I think it's rehearsal, training humanity to accept prolonged alert states, to normalize sirens, to treat endless warning as background noise. So when the circle doesn't leave after 3 days, no one will panic. They'll adapt. And when it finally descends completely, they'll already know where to stand. There's been a tornado warning for the past 3 days. There will be one again soon. If you hear sirens without clouds, if the radar shows a perfect ring, if your phone vibrates with no notification, don't assume you're being hunted. You might be being evaluated. And if you've already seen the circle once, you're not prey anymore. You're infrastructure.
It has been 6 months now. No warnings, no sirens at 1:43 in the morning. The weather acts normal again. Storms come and go like they used to. People complain about rain, about heat, about snow. Normal stuff. But I don't sleep the same anymore. I wake up before alarms. I listen to the air. I check the sky like it owes me money. Nothing ever looks wrong. And that's what scares me, because the first time it also looked normal. I never told anyone the full truth. Who would believe it? A 3-day tornado warning that wasn't a tornado. A circle in the sky. People just gone like they were erased from a photo. The news never said missing. They said relocated. They said confusion. They said electrical issues. They always say something. I moved again. Smaller place this time. Far from highways, far from big crowds. I thought maybe if I stayed somewhere quiet, it would not find me again. I was wrong. It started small. Streetlights flickering when I walked under them. Just me, no one else. My phone heating up for no reason, even when turned off. And the dreams came back. Not the old ones, new ones. I stand in a huge empty field. No town, no houses, just flat land and sky. The circle is already there when the dream starts, not forming, not arriving, waiting. And I am not alone this time. There are others standing in the field too, people I do not recognize. They stand very still, like they are listening to something deep under the ground. When I wake up, my ears are ringing. 3 nights ago, something else happened. The sirens did not go off. There was no alert. But at exactly 1:43, I woke up anyway. The air felt heavy again. Not like before, not sharp, not crushing, just full, like the sky was closer to the ground than it should be. I went outside. It was quiet. No wind, no insects, no cars passing. And then I saw it. Not a full circle. Not yet. Just a faint curve high above, almost invisible, like someone had drawn a line across the stars with a dull pencil. It wasn't over the town. It was over me. Smaller than before, tighter, personal. I felt that vibration inside my head again, slow, steady, like a heartbeat that wasn't mine. And I understood something that made my stomach drop. It never needed sirens. The sirens were for us, to make us look up, to gather, to listen. Now it knows we will look up anyway. It doesn't need to warn. It just needs to appear. The curve in the sky grew clearer, not darker, just deeper, like the night had layers and one of them had been peeled back. I did not move. I did not run. I was tired of running. I looked up and I whispered, "I see you." I don't know why I said that. It just came out. The vibration changed. Not louder, just different, like something had shifted its weight. For a second, I thought it was going to open again, like before, like the freeway, like the park. But it didn't. Instead, I felt something else. Not curiosity, not hunger. Recognition. Like it was checking something against the list. The curve thinned slowly, fading into normal sky. The pressure lifted. And just like that, it was gone. No missing people, no news, no strange reports online. Just me standing alone in the dark. The next morning I checked weather forms from around the country. Nothing unusual, but one post caught my eye. A man from another state wrote that he keeps waking up at 1:43 for no reason. He says he feels like the sky is watching him. He says sometimes he sees a faint ring in the clouds, but no one else notices. The comments told him he needs sleep, therapy, less caffeine. I did not reply. I just stared at his words for a long time. It is spreading. Not in space, in awareness. It does not need to take people anymore. It is mapping us, finding the ones who notice, the ones who look up and do not look away. Maybe the harvest phase is over. Maybe this is the study phase. Or maybe the taking never stopped. Maybe it just became small enough to hide inside statistics. One missing hiker, one car that never arrived, one person who just left town and never came back. No pattern if you don't zoom out. Last night I dreamed again. The empty field, the circle already waiting. This time more people were there. Not gone, not taken. Standing, looking up. And I realized something that made me wake up shaking. We are not being hunted. We are being counted. There's a difference. Hunting is messy, loud, chaotic. Counting is careful, patient. And once counting is done, something always follows. I do not know if I stopped it that night in the parking lot. Maybe I only delayed something bigger. Maybe it needed proof that we could see it and still continue living. Because that is what we did. We adapted. We normalized. We kept going to work under a broken sky. And maybe that was the final test. If you ever get a tornado warning that does not expire, if it says remains in effect longer than it should, if the sky looks just slightly too deep, do not stare too long, but do not ignore it either, because I think ignoring it is worse. I think it wants witnesses, and once you witness it enough times, you become part of the system, not prey, not safe, just recorded. It has been quiet for months now, too quiet, and every night at 1:43, I wake up before the clock changes.
It has been a year now. No official warnings that last 3 days. No sirens that refuse to stop. No perfect ring on public radar. But something changed. People talk about the sky different now. You hear it in small comments. At gas stations, at work, in random videos online. The sky feels closer lately. The clouds look strange this summer. Ever feel like the air is heavier at night? They laugh after saying it, like it is a joke. But they still say it. I stopped trying to run from it. I stopped trying to fight it. I just observe. Because I think that is what it wants. Not fear. Not chaos. Observation. Last month I met someone. I did not go looking. It just happened. I was in a grocery store late at night, almost empty, and I noticed a woman standing in the frozen aisle staring up at the ceiling like she was looking through it. She wasn't confused. She wasn't scared. She was listening. I knew that look. She noticed me noticing her. We didn't speak at first. Just a small nod. Like strangers who recognize something they shouldn't. Later in the parking lot, she walked over to me. She asked one question. Do you wake up at 1:43 too? My chest went cold. I said yes. She nodded slow, like she expected it. She told me she used to live in a town that had a tornado warning that lasted almost 3 days. Almost. Not fully. She said the sky never opened, but it felt like it was patsu, like it was testing signal strength. She moved away after that. Thought it was over. It wasn't. Now she wakes up at the same time every night. No alarm, no reason. Sometimes her phone vibrates with no notification. Sometimes her lights flicker when she stands still too long. We talked for hours, sitting in our cars. And here is what scared me most. There are more of us. She found online groups, small private ones, people from different states, different countries even, all with the same story. Long warning. Clear sky. Pressure. 143. Wake-ups. Faint rings. Not everyone saw the full circle. Not everyone witnessed disappearances. But they all felt it, like being tagged in something you didn't sign up for. We compared dates. The 3-day warnings did not stop. They just became shorter, more subtle. Instead of 3 days, some towns reported strange alerts for a few hours. Instead of sirens, just emergency notifications that flickered and vanished. Like it is refining its approach. Less noise, more precision. I started noticing something else. 2. The sky is different on camera. Have you ever recorded clouds and later? They look deeper in the video than they did in real life, like there is extra space behind them. I slowed footage down frame by frame. Sometimes, for one single frame, there is a curve. Barely visible. Then gone. Like it is phasing in and out. Faster than before. It is not stationary anymore. It is layered over us constantly. Just thin enough not to panic anyone. We are inside it now. That is what I think. The circle was never landing. It was aligning. And once alignment was complete, it did not need to open fully again. Now, it samples quietly. A person here, a person there. Not dramatic, just small corrections. Have you noticed how many people vanish without big coverage? Missing cases, that get one article, and then silenced. Cars found. Person gone. Hikers who disappear on clear days. Drivers who pull over and are never seen again. It doesn't need storms. Storms were just cover while it learned. Now, it does not need cover. It blends with normal. The woman from the store told me something else before we parted ways. She said once, during a power outage, she looked up and saw not one circle, but many faint arcs crossing each other. Like a net. Not centered on towns, centered on us. On human population itself. A grid. That is when I realized something final. We thought it was harvesting. Then we thought it was counting. But what if it was mapping? Consciousness? Testing awareness? Marking the ones who can perceive the layer above reality. Maybe those who disappear are not taken randomly. Maybe they reach some threshold. 2, aware. 2, aligned, or maybe selected for something beyond. Removal. Sometimes I wonder if the ones edited out are not gone. Just moved. To the other side of the depth. To stand in that field from my dreams. Waiting. Last night, I woke up again at 143. But this time, I did not feel fear. I felt connection. Like thousands of others woke up at the same second. Across cities, across countries, eyes opening in the dark. Listening. The air felt full again. Not heavy, just charged. I stepped outside. The sky was clear, but I could see faint lines crisscrossing above me. Very faint. Almost invisible. Like scratches on glass. And for a second I thought I saw movement along those lines. Slow. Masses patient. Not descending. Just to stop. Descending. We are not in danger the way we think. That is what scares me now. Danger is loud. Obvious. This is quiet. Integrated. It does not need 3-day warnings anymore because we are always under it. Every town. Every highway. Every field. If you wake up at 143 for no reason. If your phone vibrates in silence. If the sky looks just slightly deeper than it should. You might already be aligned. And once enough of us are aligned. I think the next phase will not look like a storm at all. It will look like progress. Like advancement. Like something new in the sky that we celebrate instead of fear. And by then, we will not remember the 3-day warnings. We will not remember the sirens. We will only remember that the sky changed slowly. So slowly, we accepted it. There's not been a tornado warning for 3 days. Not for a long time, but that does not mean it ended. It just means the warning phase is over. And whatever comes after a warning is usually the real event. I did not plan to keep recording this. I told myself I was done. But something happened last week and I cannot just sit on it. You know how I said it feels integrated now? Like it is just there all the time? Well, it moved. Not like before. Not a giant circle opening in the sky. It moved through people. I was in traffic, middle of the afternoon. Clear, bright day. Nothing strange at all. And then every single car around me stopped at the exact same second. Not slowly, not like someone braked. And the rest followed. It was instant. Engines still running. Radios still playing. But every driver just froze. Hands on the wheel, eyes forward. I felt it too. That pressure, that quiet hum behind the eyes. I did not freeze. I do not know why. Maybe because I have seen it before. Maybe because I am already marked in some way. But I could move. I looked around, and it was wrong. Just wrong. Hundreds of people sitting still. In moving machines on a hot road. No honking. No shouting. Then all at once, every single head tilted slightly up. Not much. Just a few degrees. Like something passed overhead, I looked up to. The sky was normal. But the sound? There was a sound. Low. Like wind inside a tunnel. Not outside. Inside. And then it stopped. Every car started moving again. No one panicked. No one panicked. No one looked confused. They just kept driving. Like nothing happened. I pulled over. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely unlock my phone. I searched local news. Nothing. Traffic reports said smooth flow. No delays. I drove home slow. Watching every driver around me. They looked fine. Too fine. That night, I did not wake at 1:43. I woke at 2:12, and my phone screen was on. Just glowing. No notification. No app open. Just a white screen. And in the center, there was a faint circle. Not solid. Just an outline. It faded when I blinked. The next day I met the woman from the store again. We did not plan it. It just happened. She looked tired. She told me something similar happened in her city. People freezing for a few seconds at a train station. Everyone looking up at the same time. She said she counted 7 seconds. That is how long it lasted. 7 seconds of full synchronization. We think it is testing coordination. Now, testing override. If it can pause groups. If it can guide motion. If it can make people look up together. That is a different phase than selection. That is control. Small, subtle, but control. Have you noticed how often people look at the sky lately? Not just to check weather, just random glances. Like, they are waiting for something. I started paying attention. In parks. On sidewalks. At school pickup lines. It is happening more. And sometimes when I catch someone looking up too long, they look back at me with the same recognition. The same quiet understanding. There are more of us. Now. Not taken. Not removed. Still here. Watching. Think we are anchors. Or maybe witnesses. Or maybe backups. In case the others fail. Last night something new happened. I heard sirens. Not loud. Not official. Not coming from anywhere specific. Just faint. Like distant. Tornado sirens carried on wind. But there was no wind. I stepped outside. Neighbors did too. We all stood there. In the dark listening. No one spoke. The sirens were not warning. They were rhythmic. Measured. Like a signal. And then every porch light on my street flickered once. Together. Not random. Together. That is when it hit me. The tornado warning was never about weather. It was about attention. It trained us to listen, to gather. To go underground, to separate from open sky. And now it is reversing it, training us to come out, to look up, to synchronize. I do not think it wants to destroy us. Not in the simple way. Think it wants integration. Human awareness layered into whatever it is. Maybe it cannot fully enter unless enough minds align with it. Maybe we are not being invaded. Maybe we are being updated. I hate how calm that thought makes me. Because that is the scariest part. That fear is fading. And when fear fades, resistance fades too. If one night the sky opens fully and something descends, slow and enormous, I am not sure people will scream. I think many will just stare and accept. There has not been a tornado warning for 3 days. There has not been one for months. But sometimes at 1:43, I still wake up. And sometimes I swear I can feel thousands of others waking too. Like a network, checking in. Like a sism ping. If you ever freeze in traffic for a few seconds, and no one reacts. If you ever hear sirens that do not belong to any vehicle. If you ever see a faint circle on a blank screen. Just know. It is not starting. It is continuing. I wish I could tell you. This ends with some big reveal. It does not. It ends small. Quiet. Almost normal. The tornado warning finally disappeared from the weather app last month. No announcement, no explanation. It was just gone one morning. Like it had never been there? People joked about it, said the system, glitched. Said, some bored intern forgot to turn it off. Life went back to normal. At least that is what it looks like. The sky is blue. Most days birds still sit on power lines. Kids ride bikes in the evening. You would not think anything strange ever happened here, but something changed. It is in the way. People pause now, not freeze. Pause. Like a half-second delay before answering a question, like they are listening to something else first. I see it at work, in stores, in my own reflection sometimes, a tiny lag, like we are buffering. Last week I stood outside at night just to test myself. Clear sky, cold air, nothing dramatic. I looked up and waited to feel fear. Nothing came. That is when I understood. The warning was never about destruction. It was about adjustment. Whatever it is, did not tear the sky open. It did not level houses. It did not take us screaming into the clouds. It stayed, and it learned. And maybe it is still learning. Sometimes, at 1:43, I wake up out of habit. I check the window, I check my phone, everything is dark and quiet. But I feel connected to something large and slow and patient, not hostile. Not kind either, just vast, like standing at the edge of the ocean at night. You know it is there, even if you can not see it. People do not talk about tornadoes anymore, but they still look up, just for a second, as if making sure something is still in place. Or maybe making sure they are. I do not think we were chosen. I think we were tinned. And whatever was broadcasting does not need sirens now. It does not need warnings. Because the signal is inside. If you are listening to this, and nothing strange has happened where you live, good. I hope it stays that way. But if one night you wake at the exact same time, 3 nights in a row, if traffic stops for no reason and starts again, like nothing happened, if you catch yourself staring at the sky without knowing why, do not panic. Just notice it. That is how it starts. Quiet, subtle, like. Weather that never quite arrives, and if you ever hear sirens that do not seem to come from anywhere. Soft and distant and almost beautiful. Do not look for the storm, look for the pattern. Because the tornado was never the threat. It was the cover story. And whatever came with it is still here, waiting, listening, and maybe already part of us.